Clara's voice trembled just a little. So you never loved me? Marcus looked away like he didn't care enough to lie. I love what you did for me, he said bluntly. But love you? Clara, I outgrew you. Welcome back to LA's Listening Lounge. Stories you can hear and words you can feel. Tonight's story is about betrayal, power, and the woman they thought they could erase. They laughed at her. They lied on her. They tried to break her. But what they didn't know was she was already 10 steps ahead. Get comfortable, turn the lights down, and let's step into tonight's story. The woman they tried to erase. Chapter 1. Patterns Don't Lie. Clara Jackson didn't wake up one morning and decide her husband was cheating. It wasn't like that. Betrayal didn't always kick the door down with lipstick stains and loud confessions. Sometimes it slid in quietly, changing a man's habits 1 inch at a time until the house didn't feel like home anymore. 17 years of marriage taught Clara how to read Marcus's silence better than his words. He still kissed her forehead sometimes, still said, "I'm running late," with that calm voice, still ate dinner. But something had shifted. His phone used to live on the counter like a harmless accessory. Now it stayed face down like a secret he couldn't risk showing the light. And the cologne. Lord, the cologne. Sharp. Expensive. Not the warm, clean scent she used to buy him. This one smelled like attention, like a woman's fingers on his collar. Clara stood at the sink rinsing dishes while Marcus paced behind her, talking about business. And she felt it, like a draft in a sealed room. A change. A warning. "Baby," Marcus said casually, "I'm going to be at the office late again." Bored stuff. Clara didn't turn around. "Again?" He paused. "It's my career, Clara." She swallowed the ache in her throat. "I know." But what she didn't say was, "Your career used to include me," because Clara remembered the old Marcus. She remembered the Marcus who slept on textbooks and borrowed her car for clinical rotations. She remembered the way she worked overtime, skipped vacations, paid bills, and smiled through exhaustion because she believed in his dream like it was hers too. Now he moved through the house like he belonged to something else. That night, Clara folded laundry in the bedroom when she heard Marcus downstairs, whispering into his phone. Not his normal voice. This one was soft, warm, like he was smiling. Clara froze with a towel in her hands. "I miss you too," Marcus murmured. Clara's chest tightened, then his voice dipped lower. "Stop. You're going to make me come over there." Clara's stomach sank like a stone. She slowly set the towel down and walked to the bedroom door, listening. Marcus chuckled quietly. "You know my wife thinks I'm working." A pause, then his tone turned playful. "Nah, she ain't going nowhere. Clara's loyal." Clara's hand gripped the doorknob so hard her knuckles went pale. Loyal. Like loyalty was something to use. She stepped back, heart pounding, and in that moment Clara didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't confront. She made a decision. 3 days later, she sat across from a private investigator named Darnell Tate. He was calm, mid-40s, quiet eyes, no judgment in his face. He flipped open a notebook. "Tell me what's going on." Clara stared at the wall a second, steadying herself. "His patterns changed," she said. Darnell nodded like she'd said everything he needed. "That's usually the first crack," he replied. Clara's voice was low. "I don't want to be wrong, but I don't want to be stupid either." Darnell leaned back. "Then let's find out the truth." Chapter 2. The Woman in the Robe. Darnell didn't take long. On day 3, he showed up to Clara's car window outside the grocery store and slid a folder into her lap like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "Before you open it," he warned gently, "be ready." Clara's fingers trembled as she opened it. Photographs, Marcus, a hotel, a woman. She was younger than Clara. Warm brown skin, thick curls, bright smile, not the shy type. And the caption at the bottom of the photo, "Gina Price, location stamp, Hillston Hotel." Clara stared so long she stopped blinking. Darnell's voice came softly. "I got more. Dates, times, he's consistent." Clara swallowed. "What room?" she asked. Darnell hesitated. 614. Clara nodded once. Darnell's brows lifted. "Clara, I'm not about to do anything crazy," Clara said, steady but cold. "I just want to see what he risked my life for." The Hillston Hotel smelled like lies wrapped in luxury. Golden lighting, soft music. People walking around like nobody had ever had their heart broken in here. Clara stepped off the elevator on the 6th floor, her heels clicking like punctuation. Room 614. She knocked, firm. The door opened. And there she was, Gina, in a robe, hair spilling over her shoulders like she knew she was pretty and planned to weaponize it. Gina's eyes widened for a second. Then the corners of her mouth curled into a smile that wasn't friendly. "Oh," Gina said slowly, looking Clara up and down. "You must be the wife." Clara's voice was calm. "I'm Clara." Gina opened the door wider, leaning on it like she owned the room. "Come on in, since you already here." Clara stepped inside, eyes scanning. Marcus's suit jacket hung on a chair. Clara's stomach turned, Gina noticed. "That's his," Gina said with a smirk. "He said you don't even iron his stuff right anymore. Guess I do it better for him." Clara turned her head slowly. "You enjoy this? Being content with hotel hookups and lonely nights?" Gina walked closer, chin lifted. "I enjoy winning." Clara's voice stayed measured. "Did you know he was married?" Gina laughed, one sharp burst. "Girl, please. Everybody knows Marcus is married." "That doesn't mean anything." Clara's eyes hardened. "So you're proud of helping break a marriage?" Gina's smile widened. "Break it? Baby, your marriage has been broke. I'm just the receipt." Clara's hands curled slightly, but she didn't move. Gina stepped closer, whispering like poison. "He told me you've been holding him back. That you're not the type of woman a successful man needs." Clara's chest rose, then fell. "You're proud," Clara said. Gina tilted her head. "Proud? I'm excited. I'm about to be Mrs. Jackson." Clara stared. "You think a man who cheats with you won't cheat on you? I figured you were not the sharpest pencil in the box, but it's even worse." Gina shrugged. "Not if you know how to keep him. And trust me, my pencil is sharp enough for him." "He said you are always focused on the wrong thing." Clara's voice dropped. "Keep him? Like he's a prize? You and my husband have carried on a whole circus and he is the head clown." Gina's eyes narrowed. "He is a prize, and I took him, from you. You can't give me something that no longer belongs to you." Clara blinked slowly. "Why are you so angry at me?" Gina's lips pressed together, then she leaned in, eyes gleaming. "Because you got 17 years, she hissed. "You got the years I deserve. You got the ring, the title, the house, the kids. And you're sitting here acting like you don't know how pathetic you look trying to pretend you no longer want him while quietly holding on." Clara's throat tightened, but she refused to show it. "Pathetic?" Clara repeated. Gina pointed a finger at her. "Yes, pathetic. You begged that man to love you, and he checked out on you long ago. You just refused to accept it." Clara's gaze didn't break. "You're loud and wrong, Gina. A married man will tell you anything to get what he wants," Gina smirked. "And you're weak. My man only tells me how he can't wait to be free from you. And guess what? After the conversation, I believe him even more." Then Gina reached over to the dresser and picked up Marcus's watch, sliding it onto her wrist like a trophy. "He has found his happy place with me now," Gina said. "He upgraded when he chose me." Clara's voice turned icy. "He didn't upgrade. He changed addresses." Gina laughed. "Keep telling yourself that." Clara turned toward the door, calm like steel. Gina called after her, sweet and cruel. "When he files, don't be surprised. He told me you don't deserve anything." Clara paused at the doorway and looked back, eyes steady. "You can have him," Clara said softly. "But don't confuse a man's weakness for your worth." Gina's smile faded just a little. Clara walked out. Chapter 3. The Confession That Ruined Everything. Marcus didn't come home that night. He came the next afternoon, late, storming into the living room like Clara was the problem. "You went to the hotel?" he snapped. Clara stood near the window, arms folded. "Yes." Marcus threw his keys on the table. "You embarrassed me!" Clara's voice was quiet. "You embarrassed us." Marcus scoffed. "You don't understand what's at stake." Clara blinked once. "What's at stake? Our marriage? Our family?" Marcus's eyes were sharp. "My reputation. My practice. My money." Clara stared at him. "Oh, your ego. Got it," she responded sarcastically. Then she asked, "So, Gina matters more than me?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "Don't do that." Clara stepped closer, voice firm. "Tell me the truth, Marcus. Look me in the eyes and tell me why." Marcus exhaled and his shoulders dropped like he was tired of pretending. "You want the truth?" he said. Clara didn't flinch. "I've been asking for it." Marcus's eyes turned cold. "I married you because you were useful," he said. The room went silent. Clara's breath caught. Marcus kept going, voice steady like he'd rehearsed it. You did anything I asked. You worked extra shifts. You paid bills. You took care of the kids while I studied. You were safe. Clara's lips parted slightly. Safe. Marcus nodded. I knew you wouldn't leave. Not while I was building. Clara's voice trembled just a little. So you never loved me? Marcus looked away like he didn't care enough to lie. I love what you did for me, he said bluntly. But love you? Clara, I outgrew you. Clara's eyes filled, but she refused to let a tear fall. Marcus walked closer, voice lowering. And here's what's going to happen, he said. We're divorcing, and you are not about to take half of my life's work just because you feel hurt. Clara's eyes narrowed. Half your life's work? Marcus leaned in. My work, my name, my practice. Clara whispered, I built that practice too. Marcus smirked. And that's exactly why I have to protect it from you. Clara stared. Protect it? From your wife? Marcus's mouth curled. From your greed. Clara's chest rose. Greed? You've cheated me twice, Marcus. Marcus's eyes hardened. And you went to that hotel like a crazy woman. Gina said you forced your way in, said you threatened her. Clara's face went still. That's a lie, and you know it, she said. Marcus shrugged. Doesn't matter. It's a story. Clara's voice grew sharper. So you're going to smear me instead of protect me? The mother of your children? Marcus nodded like he'd already decided. If I have to. Clara stepped back slowly. Marcus, you're evil. Marcus smiled without warmth. No, I'm successful, and success requires hard choices. Clara's voice dropped. So you and Gina planned this? Marcus's eyes didn't blink. Let's just say you're about to look unstable, and unstable women don't get paid. Chapter 4. The Setup. The next week came fast, too fast. Clara received papers, then a court notice, then a protective order request filed by Gina. The claim said Clara barged into a hotel room, threatened violence, and stalked Gina at Marcus's office. Clara sat at the kitchen table reading it, her hands shaking. Ariel, her 15-year-old daughter, stood in the doorway. Mom, what is that? Clara swallowed hard. A lie. Ariel's eyes filled. Daddy is doing this? Clara couldn't answer right away, because the truth was brutal. Marcus wasn't just cheating, he was trying to erase her. Darnell showed up again with another folder. They're building a narrative, he said. A picture of you as unstable. Clara's voice cracked. He wants to take everything. Darnell nodded. That's why they are doing this. They want you to be scared. Quiet, desperate. Clara wiped her face, voice hardening. I'm not giving him my life. Darnell's eyes were steady. Then we fight smart. Clara nodded. What's the plan? Darnell hesitated. We document everything. You don't move without a witness. Cameras, receipts. Clara leaned forward, anger controlled. And if they set me up, Darnell's voice was low, then we let them hang themselves. 2 days later, Marcus texted Clara. Come by the office. We can talk like adults. Clara stared at the screen, suspicion thick. Darnell's words echoed. Don't move without a witness. So Clara did what she had learned to do. She recorded. She called Darnell. And she brought Ariel's aunt, Renee, with her, someone she trusted. When Clara arrived at the office, Marcus was waiting at the front desk, calm like a man with nothing to hide. He smiled like a snake. Clara, he said, voice smooth, thank you for coming. Clara didn't smile back. Say what you need to say. Marcus gestured toward the hall. My office. As they walked, Clara noticed Gina stepping out of a side room, dressed sharp, hair flawless, lips glossy. Gina crossed her arms and smiled like she'd been waiting for this. You brought backup? Gina mocked, eyes cutting toward Renee. Clara's voice stayed controlled. I brought truth. Gina scoffed. Girl like that matters. Whoever tells it better wins. Marcus opened his office door. Sit. Clara didn't sit. Marcus sighed dramatically. I'm offering you a deal. Walk away quietly, sign the papers, no fuss. Clara stared. And what do I get? Marcus smiled. Peace. Clara laughed, one short, bitter sound. Peace doesn't pay mortgage, Marcus. Gina stepped closer, eyes gleaming. When are you going to realize you are not getting nothing? Clara's eyes snapped to Gina. Excuse me? Gina leaned in, voice dripping with cruelty. You heard me, she said. You think you deserve half? For what, being a little helper, being the little wife while he became the successful man he is? Clara's jaw clenched. Gina continued, louder now, enjoying every word. You're pathetic, Clara. You stayed loyal to a man who used you like a stepping stone, and now you want to act shocked because he finally chose better? Clara's voice came out low. Better? You're a child who has not been rocked by life yet. Who exactly is better? Gina smiled. Me. Marcus looked at Gina, then back at Clara. You see why this won't work, Marcus said, tone cold. You can't handle reality. Clara's hands curled at her sides. Reality is you're a coward. Deep down, I always knew you were spineless. I just never thought you would turn into an arrogant python. Marcus's eyes flashed. Watch your mouth. Gina laughed. Oh, now she wants to be feisty. Where was this energy while you were working hard to pay his tuition? I might be young, but I would never contribute to a man's success without securing my future in writing. Clara's breath hitched. All she could envision was flipping Gina over the desk, but she kept rehearsing Darnell's voice in her head. Marcus leaned back in his chair like a king. Clara, you're not walking away with my practice. Clara stepped forward. It's not yours alone. Marcus's lips lifted. It is when you're labeled unstable. Clara narrowed her eyes. What are you talking about? Marcus tapped his desk twice. And that's when Gina reached into her purse and pulled out a tiny bottle. Clear liquid. Clara's stomach dropped. Gina waved it casually. You know what this is? Renee stiffened. What is that? Gina smiled. A little help. A little something to put in her purse. A little something to make her look like an addict. Clara's blood ran cold. You're setting me up. Marcus's voice was calm. We're protecting ourselves. Clara shook her head slowly. No, you're committing a crime. Gina stepped closer, whispering. If you fight us, we'll ruin you. You'll lose your kids, you'll lose your house, you'll be broke. And then you'll watch me sit in your kitchen wearing your robe. Clara's eyes filled, but her voice stayed steady. You're sick, Gina smiled. And you're done. Marcus stood. Renee, you can leave. Clara, we can do this the easy way. Clara turned slightly, locking eyes with Renee. Record, she mouthed. Renee had already been recording, and Clara's phone was recording too. But something else was happening that Clara didn't know yet, because across the hall, behind the glass of the waiting area, a witness was watching. Chapter 5. The video that changed everything. The next day, Clara got arrested. They said drugs were found in her purse. They said she lunged at Gina. They said she threatened Marcus. They painted her like a wild woman. Ariel screamed when they put handcuffs on her mother. My mom didn't do nothing, Ariel cried. Clara stood tall through the humiliation, tears burning behind her eyes. I didn't do it, she told the officer quietly. I'm being set up. The officer avoided her eyes. Tell it to the judge. Clara spent one night in a holding cell, one night too long. But when morning came, her attorney walked in with a look Clara would never forget. Clara, her lawyer whispered, almost smiling. We got something. Clara's heart pounded. What? The attorney slid a phone across the table. A witness, she said, a mother in the waiting area. She recorded the entire hallway through the glass because she thought something felt off. Clara's breath caught. She recorded... Her attorney nodded. She recorded Gina pulling the bottle out. She recorded Marcus talking about labeling you unstable. She recorded them saying they'd ruin you. Clara's eyes filled instantly. And that's not all, the attorney continued. She tapped the screen. The video showed Gina leaning into Clara's purse while Marcus stood watch. Clear as day. Then the audio caught Marcus's voice. Unstable women don't get paid. Clara covered her mouth. Oh my God, her lawyer leaned in. They didn't just set you up. They documented their own fraud. Clara whispered, So I'm free? Her lawyer's smile widened. You're not just free, they're finished. Chapter 6. When the trap snaps back. Court came fast, and this time, Marcus didn't look so confident. He sat at the defense table beside Gina, jaw tight, eyes darting. Gina still tried to look unbothered, but her leg bounced like a guilty heartbeat. Clara walked in with her head high, Ariel beside her, Darnell behind her like protection. The prosecutor played the video on a large screen. The room went silent. Gina's smile disappeared. Marcus's face turned pale. The judge leaned forward. The prosecutor paused on the frame where Gina slipped the bottle into Clara's purse. Is that the defendant, Gina Price? The prosecutor asked. Gina's attorney stood quickly. Objection! The judge raised a hand. Overruled. Then came the audio. Marcus's voice echoed through the courtroom. Unstable women don't get paid. A ripple moved through the room. Clara looked at Marcus, eyes steady. Marcus wouldn't look back. The prosecutor turned to the judge. This is conspiracy to commit fraud, false reporting, evidence tampering, and attempted coercion. Gina's face twisted. This is edited. The witness stood. A woman named Patrice Williams, a mother who had been in the waiting area. I didn't edit in anything, Patrice said firmly. I recorded because the wife looked scared and the side chick looked too happy. Something felt wrong. The judge's voice was sharp. Mrs. Price, did you place that bottle into Mrs. Jackson's purse? Gina's lips trembled. Marcus leaned toward her, whispering, but the mic caught it. Don't say anything, Marcus hissed. We can still beat this. The courtroom gasped. The judge's expression turned to ice. Oh, we are done here, the judge said. Chapter 7, she got everything. They didn't just lose the case. They lost their freedom. Gina went first, charged with fraud, evidence tampering, false reporting, and conspiracy. Marcus got hit even harder, because he was a licensed professional abusing his position, trying to ruin the mother of his child to avoid financial responsibility. His dental board suspended him, then revoked him. The judge spoke plainly at sentencing. You tried to destroy a woman who supported you, the judge said. You attempted to manipulate the legal system for personal gain. This court will not reward cruelty with profit. Marcus's eyes filled with rage. Gina cried, mascara streaking. They were sentenced to prison, together. And when the gavel hit, Clara exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for 17 years. The divorce was final. Clara got the home, the accounts, the practice, everything Marcus thought he could steal. She didn't gloat. She didn't celebrate loudly. She simply reclaimed what had always been hers, and then she did something nobody expected. She built bigger. Clara hired 2 dentists, Dr. Jordan Wells and Dr. Nia Carter, a strong black man with a gentle spirit, a brilliant black woman who ran her own clinic before relocating. They met Clara in her office. Dr. Carter looked around. You sure you want to stay in dentistry after all this? Clara smiled softly. This practice fed my family. I'm not letting betrayal take what God allowed me to build. Dr. Wells nodded. Then we'll help you rebuild it right. Clara's eyes shimmered. Not rebuild, expand. Epilogue, the #1 talk show. Clara's story went viral. Not because it was messy, because it was powerful. A woman used, discarded, and set up, who stood tall, fought smart, and won. People everywhere reposted the courtroom video. Women wrote, I needed this. Men wrote, I'm ashamed of him. Survivors wrote, you saved me. Then the call came. A producer. Mrs. Jackson, the woman said excitedly, we'd love to have you on the Daylight Circle. Clara blinked. That's the #1 daytime show. Yes, ma'am, the producer laughed. And the host specifically requested you. She said your story is about resilience, not revenge. Clara looked across the room at Ariel, who was doing homework at the table. Ariel looked up. Mom, what? Clara smiled. We're going on TV, baby. Ariel's eyes widened. For real? Clara nodded, tears finally falling. Soft, quiet ones. Not from pain, from release. On the talk show set, bright lights hit her face. The host reached for Clara's hand. Clara, she said gently, what would you tell the woman watching right now who feels invisible in her own marriage? Clara looked into the camera, voice steady. I'd tell her this, Clara said. Pay attention to the shifts, trust your instincts, and never break yourself trying to protect someone who wouldn't protect you. The audience stood, clapped, cried, and Clara sat there, whole, unashamed, unbroken. Not because life didn't try to destroy her, but because she refused to disappear. And that is tonight's story. Remember, strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it stands quietly and refuses to move. If this story spoke to you, like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a word you can feel. This is LA's Listening Lounge. And until next time, keep listening, keep growing, and never let anyone rewrite your worth.